Hey everybody, Larry, Fort Worth Memories Museum and Groups, and YouTube at Fort Worth Memories. Let me see if I can find the live feed just now. Yeah, that works. It'll let me edit it. Turn the sound down. Today is Thursday, March the 6th. So I'm going to style it Thursday morning, March 6th. And we're going to share it to different platforms. Okay, got an early start this morning. I actually did a Zoom history lesson that started about an hour ago. We started at 5:30 and ended 15 minutes ago, 16 minutes ago. Greg and Don are in, and me. Okay, so I don't know anything special. Today's supposed to be fairly nice. It's not too cold out there right now. It is 40 degrees. The high is going to get to 67. No rain until Saturday, says 70%. We're eating at Railhead Barbecue on Saturday at 1. I'm going to see how we stand on our Globe Life Field situation. Hold on now. Let me see what if you block your profile, if you block your profile, there's nothing I can look at or anything. You're not going to get into the group. I mean, I understand some people block their profile because they don't want people, they think, getting their information or whatever. If you're on the internet, they've already got your information. Okay, so you can retry to join if you'll let me look at your profile, and that'll be fine. I'm scrolling through the group page. Number one, to take the there's a birthday deal from 2 days ago. We're going to delete that. We're going to try to find the Kent Sleep Club overnight and delete that. That's the birthdays for today. There's the old Turnpike. those things are buried. Okay. Here is the best Major League Baseball stadium. All I need to see, that one didn't do it. Let me see if this one will do it. Check the leaderboard. This is for the best stadium, which we were in 17th. We're still in 17th, so we have not moved up. We got to get past that today. We got to move up. Okay, here's the best stadium food. We were 16th, I believe in that. Yesterday being our first day. No, we were 15th. We had moved up one notch. We're still at 15th. So I will share the links. Share this ballot. Facebook. Vote. Globe Life Field. I hadn't heard from Scott yet. I need to find out how he's coming on. I will message him right now. Scott, where are you, brother? Any luck on the tutorial? Well, those trains have been going all morning. Okay, so we're still 17th and 16th. I think 17th and 16th. Or 15th, 17th and 15th. Okay, so let's look at the news and see what's going on around us. The Democratic Party has reached out to the far left with a long list of stuff to do for America to revitalize the party. Same thing the Republican Party had to do. The president said this is the last warning to Hamas. Hunter Biden is broke. With all the millions of dollars he stole, how could that be? Well, and they found yesterday so many $1 billion it's just to somebody that's just handing out money. They're handing out to nonprofits that aren't even listed. It's ridiculous. I don't guess there's any way of getting that money back. They were talking about the people at the speech the other night didn't even clap for the soldiers, the 13 and the Lincoln Riley deal. Says even some Democrats were shocked by that. So there's nothing new. Nothing new there. Let's look at Newsbreak. They're about our best for local news. Fact check about Zelensky says Ukraine's President Zelensky owns 15 homes, including a $35 million home in Florida. They need to take that immediately. He has $1.2 billion in an overseas bank account. You gotta be. Owns 3 private jets. Has a monthly income of $11 million. That's all from us. You gotta be kidding me. If Trump knows this, why does he allow that to go on? I'm going to share that to the public feed. $35 million house in Florida. Guys over here begging for money. This goddamn pisses me off. Okay, so much for that idiot. This is Documenters Homelessness in Fort Worth District 4. What is that about? Well, I'm trying to see what she says, and I can't. See full page. Charlie Lauersdorf is the current council member. The meeting was to inform residents, confront rumors and myths, explore options for reducing homelessness, and wide open discussion. Lauersdorf says they can be talking about it. They talked about it in the Bible, and we're going to be talking about it for the next 500 years. What does that mean? Yeah, they need to address that, that's for sure. So how how do you fix that problem? Who's running for District 4? We'll just send each candidate that question. See what they have to say. District 4 is Lauersdorf. Teresa Ramirez. I guess it's just her and him. So we'll send them both that question. Let me see, where did I share that to? I think I shared it to the internet. And I said, so how do we fix this? Please respond to this. They spell broad. To this Y-N-A. How do we fix this? Please respond to this in FWM members. Okay, and so now I'm gonna send it to Charles Lauersdorf and Teresa Ramirez. I don't have Teresa Ramirez on our deal. So how do we get the message to her? Let me see if I've got her on. Well, I don't know how we're going to get the message to her. I can't get a hold of her. Contact for Teresa Ramirez. Is she a doctor? Okay, there she is. I still don't know how to get a hold of her. Scott's working on the other deal. I still don't know how to get a hold of Teresa Ramirez. So I copied it. So now all I got to do is figure out how to get in touch with her. She needs to be more available. Okay, Teresa Ramirez. Contact. I still don't know how to get a hold of her. Well, we can see if I sent it to Charles Lauersdorf. Hold on. I guess it got sent. Okay, we're at 6:53. Let me get back to y'all. I still can't get over Zelensky. A $35 million home in Florida. He makes $11 million a month. I mean, why are we sending them anything? That pisses me off. That really pisses me off. Okay, is that y'all? Okay, is that y'all? I'm in, Larry's in, Brittany's in, Mercy's in, Kent is in, Brittany. Please call Railhead. Monty's in, Mercy's in, and others. Where's the other phone? It was ringing a while ago. Aaron is in. Aaron, are you going to come eat with us? We're going to eat at Railhead Barbecue. Have all of y'all voted for Globe Life Field? That's the next question every time I come live. I need all of y'all to vote. Many times. Scott's working on the tutorial on how you vote 500 times a day. We did this for the Fort Worth Zoo many years ago and got the zoo the #1 in the country ranking. We can do this now. It's a bigger challenge because Major League Baseball is the favorite pastime of the world or the United States. So we're going to have a lot of competition, but we got to get started. I need people, once we get those tutorials, I need captains, block captains, whatever you want to call yourselves, reaching out to your contacts, them reach out to their contacts, so we can get this drive home the #1 ballpark and the #1 food at the ballpark. Okay, well, we're fixing to have a way, Brittany, where you can vote all day. Well, it's gonna be raining. You probably don't want to try that. Monty's in. So, have y'all seen this article of Zelensky? It'll burn you up. Hold on, I'm fixing to read it to you. Don't forget the Golden Gloves is going on. Did I put it under me personally? Boy, now this is going to piss you off. Fact check. The facts behind resurfaced claim that Zelensky we should call him the thief, has multiple homes, planes, offshore accounts. Ukrainian president, I'm not even going to say his name, owns 15 homes, including a $35 million home in Florida, has $1.2 billion in an overseas bank account. Why don't he take his own damn money and spend it on his war? Owns 15 homes, 3 private planes, and has a monthly income of $11 million. That's unacceptable. We don't need to send them anything. In March, yada, 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 yada. I mean, it's beyond outrage. Maybe that's not. This says it was fact checked. There's no proof of any of the claims shared with an image. The Ukraine president submitted a 2024 asset declaration to the National Agency of Corruption Prevention covering the 2023 that detail his own properties, including income, bank accounts, and vehicles. According to that declaration, this is what he submitted. owns fewer than 15 properties. Well, good. How many is fewer? 14? None of them in the U.S. owned no planes and had no annual income and had an annual income of $300,000, equivalent to about $25,000 a month. Well, how does that work? 25,000 times 10 is that is 300,000. The declaration listed one overseas bank account holding 350,272 euros, around $377,000. Given the above, we rate this claim false. They're saying that there is a Florida mansion. We don't need to give that idiot anything. They need to kick his ass out of the country. Anyway. Monty's in. We're eating at Railhead. So I'm tagging Brittany. Keep trying to get a hold of the Rangers. I'm tagging Gene. You're coming to lunch, right? We want to see you there. Keep trying to contact the Rangers. I'm tagging them in every one of the posts I make about voting. But we can do this. We need to get everybody on board. I didn't forget y'all. What's your question? The history of what? The meat packing plants? Okay. Well, Swift and Armour both opened in they were built in 1902 and 1903, then they opened. But that's not probably what you're trying to get at. So the very first packing house here, you have to understand that people that lived in Fort Worth had no source of income. So the entrepreneurs were trying to scratch a way out to make a living. Contrary to popular belief, we were not overrun with hogs in the early years. Other parts of Texas were. So there was the first meat packing plant that was built was in the fall of 1875 by a guy named Richardson. He had six or 7 acres, and it was donated by JPS, John Peter Smith. It was built to pack hogs, but hogs were very few in Tarrant County. Soon went out of business because they didn't have anything to slaughter. That was in 1875. Really, it was 1876. Let's correct that. Next, there was a guy named Mr. Higgs, Higgs. He opened a refrigerating plant. It soon went out of business. He then sold the plant to Isaac Dunham. Isaac M. Dunham. I'm reading the Democrat. He killed cattle and hogs. Now, I don't understand this at all. So he's actually got a refrigeration plant. He processes the cattle and the hogs, and then he sends this stuff down to the coast. I don't know how that happened without the meat going bad, to Galveston, and he shipped his meat to Liverpool, England. How many weeks did that take? Of course, by the time he got there, it was all ruined. That guy had to be number one on the idiot list, Isaac Dunham. I don't understand that at all. He built a refrigeration plant here. I verified this, though. It's true. And so he actually took care of business. If he had customers knocking on his door, he could go get the beef out or the hogs and say, hey, here's your package. You want 4 pounds of beef? Here it is. It's still frozen or whatever. But no, he puts it on a wagon somehow. I guess maybe he had an ice chest. I don't have a clue. He couldn't have had something that stayed electrified, riding a wagon down to Galveston, and then put it on a boat to go to Liverpool, England, where the Beatles were. Maybe the Beatles were waiting on this food. So anyway, he didn't stay in business, and story goes, his wife divorced him. She married a guy that was either a reporter or somebody of importance in town that told her husband to start with, this ain't never going to work, you need to figure out something else, and he didn't do it. So he went broke, she divorced him and married the reporter. So now we're to 1890. There's 30 of our better citizens that put up $1,000 each, and they bought this guy's refrigeration plant. Their manager's name was, I'm pulling memory now, Holloway, M.C. Holloway. He was their plant manager. Bill's in, Mercy's in. And they bought the land where years later, about 12 years later, it's the same area as the Swift plant and the Armour plant. They processed about 250 to 275 head of cattle a day and about 1,000 hogs a day. Then they were in operation. This thing was working. So then a guy named John P. Hoxie, Hoxie, came down here from Chicago and put more capital into the business and really got it going. And then they decided that, hey, we've got this thing where it's actually working. We don't have enough money to really get it to take off like it should. So then they got a hold of a company in Chicago, and it was Simpson and Niles. Remember that name, Niles. Niles was not only a partner, he was a bookkeeper. So Niles City. And he devised a way around paying tax on some of the stuff. So then Swift and Armour came in. The city made a deal with them and donated the land. And because the city said, this is our main source of revenue now, besides finding prostitutes down in Hell's Half Acre, that wasn't working out too good for them. So the city said, we're going to give you your land. They actually flipped a coin between the company's Swift and the company's Armour, and that determined who got which land. So then they then did a massive building. The city also gave them $300,000, I think, apiece, besides the land, and they really went to town and built a first-class operation. And so then we were in the cattle slaughter business, which was very profitable for the city, for the people that lived here. They now had a place to go to work besides working in Hell's Half Acre trying to cheat cattlemen or cattle drovers out of their $20 a month. Good morning. What's your next question? Wasn't Swift and Armor one company? No, there's a lot of people think that. It's two different companies. What happened to Niles City? Oh, the city of Fort Worth decided, hey, these guys are cheating us out of money, so we're just going to take their whole damn company from them or annex their whole little town. What they did is incorporated a town, called it Niles City to avoid Fort Worth's outlandish tax at the time, which was probably nothing. And so Fort Worth annexed them, along with Lake Worth and many other. We annexed a lot of people. There was a law that if you had a residency of 50,000 people or more, men, women, and children, you could take somebody next to you. Hell, you could take somebody. We could have took Dallas. But we didn't. But we sure took everybody else. In fact, there is in Tarrant County, there are 42 cities. North Richland Hills, Autumn City, Hurst, Bedford, Euless, White Settlement. You get the drill. What happened? That was the guy that, I don't know. You've got somebody in your group that's kin to this Dunham. Sorry if I offended you. I mean, he opens a refrigeration plant, so he's on the right deal. He's got the right mindset. And then he decides he's going to sell his frozen beef to Liverpool, England. I mean, how does he ever... He must have had been drinking whiskey or something when he decided that. I don't know how he got the beef that was frozen from the north side of Fort Worth to Galveston. Hell, that had to be you're talking about in the 1800s. How many days was that trip? Let's see, it's how many miles is it to Galveston? Anybody know? You used to be able to drive to Houston in 5 hours, and that's when you're driving 60 or 70 miles an hour. So you must be talking about a week by wagon or longer. How's that beef going to... But I mean, they loaded it on the boat, and by the time, how many weeks later it gets to Liverpool, and they go and take the top off, and they say, "Ooh, guess what? Boy, that smells terrible. Pitch this stuff in the dumpster." Good morning, Connie. So, Cleburne, sorry if I offended your relative. He committed suicide? Huh? I mean, I wasn't trying to make fun of him. I just think that's a ridiculous thing to... It'd be like us cooking hamburgers over here and telling everybody, hey, y'all show up at the park at 5 o'clock and we'll have them over there. They'll still be warm. And I mean, you know, I don't understand it. How he could have came up with that deal. Unless maybe there's some way that they kept stuff refrigerated in the 1800s that wasn't electric. Bill Palmer's pretty smart. Can you think of anything, Bill? And I know there's no possible way that there's electricity on that boat. Even if they had generators and had fuel. I mean, how many weeks did it take to get from Galveston to Liverpool, England? This guy's talking about probably 30 days from the time they slaughtered the cattle and froze it or refrigerated it how does he think that's going to stay good for a month? Doesn't make any sense to me. So that's how the meat packing plants started. The actual first one was 1875. They stayed here till what, the 60s or 70s. Yes, Big Red will be on the street today or tomorrow. If you see Big Red coming rolling down the road, she got a new engine in her. You could buy a house for what they charge for an engine. But the alternative is $90,000 on a new truck. That doesn't sound feasible either. But really, she's been a good truck. I'm the only person that's ever driven her. Well, not really, but any length of time. And she was at 189,000 miles when the motor went kaput. And I changed the oil every 5,000 miles with that expensive oil. Hell, it's $300 to do an oil change on one of them trucks. They hold 15 quarts. Well, I posed that question to Lauersdorf, and I'm going to try to, and I sent a message to this Ramirez lady. What's their broad answer? Bill said they use steam engines on the boat to generate electricity for lighting. I would imagine they had some sort of refrigeration. How did they refrigerate it from here to Galveston? That couldn't have been done even in today's time. If you put it in the back of a truck that could drive 100 miles an hour, it's going to be way thawed out by the time you get to Galveston. Maybe not to being ruined, but I mean, it was just, any sane person would not, I don't see how. I mean, he built a refrigeration plant, maybe, I don't know. I've never read anything in the Democrat or any of the three papers that operated back then. Everybody talked about how dumb the idea was. And again, for you Cleburne folks, I'm sorry. She said that she didn't, I mean, it was a distant relative. Sorry he committed suicide. He probably didn't commit suicide just because his meatpacking plant didn't work. His wife left him and married the guy that was his biggest nemesis, the guy that spread all over town that he was an idiot. Yeah, I know we have trucks now, but you're not talking about now. You're talking about the 1800s. We didn't have a car that could make it to Galveston probably in 1870. Well, he was 1890, 1880. Hello. What's a weird one? Yeah. No, a car wash won't do it. You got to clay it off. You have to clay it off. I don't know. I just have to look at it. Can you run it by here and let me take a look? I can tell you after I look at it. Probably, minimum $150, $200 minimum. Is it all over the truck? Yeah, and it might not be concrete dust. It might be. Was they doing road construction or is it construction on a job site? Okay, so here's what you need to do. When did it get on there? Yesterday? Well, you need to start verifying or make a written deal so you can get them to pay for it. They have to pay for it. Yeah. You're what? 8 minutes away? Okay, bye. Hold on, let me open the door. Okay, so anyway, here's a pretty neat photo. That's the Fort Worth Police Department, 1921. And the police chief was Harry Hamilton, and he was also the head guy of the KKK, for a fact. Okay, so that does the meat packing plants. And it was 1888 and 89 when that guy was building his refrigeration plant. He built it. He actually built it. But then, why didn't he just try to slaughter the cattle and sell it from here? I mean, I guess because there wasn't enough citizenry in Fort Worth at that time. The Panic of 1873 brought the population of Fort Worth down to about 500 people. So you're talking about 15 years later, we probably didn't have that many people. 4,000 or 5,000, maybe 10,000. Okay, so we need everybody voting for Globe Life Field. Legitimately, you can vote every 10 hours, I think. But Scott Sumner, our IT guru, is putting together a couple of tutorials to show you how you can vote hundreds of times every day. You have to have the search engine DuckDuckGo. We voted that way for the zoo. So we voted that way for the haunted house deal that year. We're eating at Railhead Saturday. They've got a chicken special, half chicken or quarter chicken. It's real reasonable. Yeah, maybe so. I mean, you still would have had to have a closer. They didn't have ice that lasted long enough to drive a wagon from here to Galveston, I can assure you. What he should have done is found a closer market to get rid of the beef. Of course, the next biggest city was the city to the east. I mean, I don't know, Bill, that's a good project for you. Figure out how they could have, what was his mindset trying to get beef from Fort Worth, Texas to Liverpool, England? How difficult, AI might be able to answer that. How difficult could that have been? I mean, I'd think it'd be impossible. how many weeks or days or whatever does it take a boat from Galveston in the 1800s to get to Liverpool, England? In the 1800s, how long did it take a boat to get from Galveston to Liverpool, England? $25 to $30. I mean, so you're talking over a month. He's got to keep this beef at least refrigerated. That didn't, I mean, and if it was ice or if it was something like that, the cost of the transportation would have had to be, hell, they couldn't get beef in England from their cattle. I mean, it was just, I think it was a bad idea from the get-go. And he really suckered a bunch of people out of their money. The newspapers from back then, the Democrat, B.B. Paddock's newspaper, had ideas that he suckered a bunch of people into investing in it, and it was a bad idea. Hell, in reality, he might have loaded the beef up on wagons and drove 40 miles out of town, dug a hole, buried it, went and vacationed somewhere for a couple of weeks and came back and said, yep, it's on the boat going to England. We ought to get our money here fairly soon. That's the Dumb and Dumber deal of a business venture that I mean, we can look back on it and say that. Maybe it was a good idea. Maybe a better way is check a search engine. How many people in the United States in the 1880s tried to send slaughtered beef meatpacking companies to England? You'll probably come back and say 50. Maybe they had a way. Did they have dry ice then? I don't even know how you make dry ice. I know one thing. In a minute I got to get out here and go to work. It's only 7:27 though. I need the business. It's not a while you wait deal on that though. Can you believe these balloons that we had at the December 14th giveaway are still up? The reason I leave them up is because I look at them every day. That's the only expense that we paid out of the nonprofit that I thought was ridiculous. $1,142 for 6 of these stands. And of course the biggest portion had to be the stands. But hell, these balloons must be super balloons. I'm sitting there looking at them. They're all fully inflated. So December 14th to January 14th to February 14th. In a few days it'll be 3 months. Hell, you can buy these balloons from these people for a birthday party. Just if you got room to put them somewhere, you don't have to order them next year. You just wait. The balloons ought to still be good. It's unbelievable. Okay, so we need people voting. Globe Life Field. Good morning, Dad. We love you. Good. Michael is in. We need a paint contractor. We need a PDR, paintless dent removal person, or group, company, whatever you call it. We've got one, but their year membership is over Friday, tomorrow. Sherry Holt is working on the picnic thing with Millsap, the Brazos Snake, Yellow Snake Horses, Brazos River Ranch for a picnic sometime in the spring. And she's working on the birthday party. And I think it's set for July, or I don't know, I can't remember. July 13th, I think. As of this morning, we had 130,985 or something. That's on the big group. We got 18,000 on the crime group, 7,000 on the photo group. Counting all the platforms, 190 something thousand active members. He said he'd be here in 10 minutes. He lied. Okay. Mason's Hobby Lobby was in Richland Hills. I don't know if there was another one. It was on Grapevine Highway. I'm going to go down here and open this other door. Hold on. Yosemite was I'm still on the live video, I think. This was Fort Worth University. They had a law degree program and a medical degree. This was in 1890 something, 1896. There's only 9 known diplomas. I own them all.
Wow.
They're all big. They're all made out of cloth. So they were here, and this university left and went, and it's associated with the Episcopal Church in Oklahoma City, and they're still in business, but they're not called Fort Worth University anymore. But they had a law degree and a medical degree program.
Back in the 1800s, that's something.
Yeah. And it's right there where Texas A&M Law School is. We're glad y'all are in town. Okay,
Yeah,
brother, come see me.
Yep, hopefully I'll be back.
Okay.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Have a good trip.
You as well.
Man, that thing is covered. Am I still alive or what? Hello. I think I was still alive when I left. I'll tell you quickly. Zelensky, what a crook. 23 comments. Dry ice was discovered in 1835. It didn't become available till the early 1900s. Well, so that's the biggest mystery. Well, these balloons are still up since December 14th, the last year's bicycle giveaway. Yeah, that guy thought he was gonna. He's got concrete all over that truck. He's worried about his dad getting upset, and I told him. He goes to the Texas A&M Law School. He had it parked over there. They were building a building. That contractor will pay for it. Okay, so y'all are still in, right? I got to get out here and get on this Range Rover. Man, it's a brand new Range Rover. You wouldn't believe how nice that thing is. I'd hate to think how much that new Range Rover is. It's got to be $100,000. The new trucks are nice too, but they're 80 or 90 grand if you get an F-250 diesel. I don't know what a 350 would be. It's probably 120,000. And they're made out of plastic. How cold is it out there? I'm going to let it warm up just a little bit. It's 43. Well, it ain't going to get much better, so I'm going to get out there and get started. Two of my daughters have said good morning. What's up with that? I must be fixing to get blindsided with something. Trump wants to offload hundreds of government buildings. That's probably a good idea. He's trying to get rid of the debt, I can tell you. I think it's a great idea. What do we need him for? We're probably leaving them air conditioned. Allows Trump to remove head of federal ethics watchdog agency. Okay, I'm going to go out here and get started. I'll see y'all on my first break. Don't forget, vote for the best ballpark and the best food at the best ballpark, or the best food at Globe Life Field. Let me do the sponsors and then we're going to get moving. Okay, we're going to start down here with Yellow Snake, Horses, Brazos River Ranch. It's hard for me to say every time. A-Bird AC and Heating. Come on, Internet. Dub Peacock's company. They do all to do with your heat and air unit. Eric Walsh, he's on the board of directors at Larry's Kids. He's in real estate business. Bert Ladner, Wes Williams, our friend and member, is associated with Bert Ladner Real Estate. He's also on the board at Larry's Kids. Steve Coburn, Coburn's Catering. Whenever you got an event or a party, let Steve cater it. Pat and Richard Carr on Dickey Carr Sand and Gravel. Richard's nephew is Dickie Carr. All trees, whatever his company is, Grateful for Your Trees. Everything to do with trees, he takes care of it. Express Dent, this is today and tomorrow, and then their sponsorship is up. So I need a PDR, dent removal guy. Fort Worth Lumber, they have been active with our sponsorship and bicycle giveaway for 10 years, I guess. Brandon Cross, Cross Electric. They're our electrical sponsor, and also he is nominated on DFW favorites, so y'all vote for Brandon Cross. K Ranch Roofing, Jorge Hernandez is the owner there. If you think those high winds might have tore up your roof, call one of those numbers and you'll get Bree. Bree will set you up an appointment, and one of their specialists will come out and take a look. They don't charge you for that. State Farm Insurance, Jenny Stewart is our sponsor there. Old South Pancake House, Rex Benson's company. The Benson family's owned Old South since 1962. Passport Getaways. If you're planning a trip, a cruise, whatever, just call and let them do the legwork. Optimist Club of Fort Worth, Jeff Norman heads that group up. Charlie Garen's Railhead Barbecue, that's where we're eating Saturday. Charlie is also on the board of directors at Larry's Kids, very active. Raines Plumbing, a family-owned business plumbing company. We've gotten a lot of great reviews. Call Raines. Rex Benson's new sports bar and grill. That's the premier sports bar in the Metroplex, maybe in the state. When you go visit these people, tell them Larry sent you. Casey Kroll, I got 2 people called me last night and said they did great work on Medicare and Medicaid. Schwartz and Hanson, Jerry Schwartz and his partner Mr. Hanson have been active in our bicycle giveaway and sponsorship for years. Stroud Auto Supply, Danny Stroud and his wife, that's second generation. I actually bought auto parts there when I was 16. Chris at G2 Garage, that's their new client special. They're in the White Settlement area. Phelps Family Auto Cares in the Burleson area. They always, you talk to people in Burleson or Fort Worth, they tell you they're the best mechanics in town. Fort Worth Florist, Jeanette and her team. If you want to send some flowers, you're in the doghouse or funeral, wedding, whatever, call Fort Worth Florist. Alpha Design and Build, that's Lance Sanders. If you want to remodel something in your house or your business, or you want to add a second story, call Lance Sanders. Clay Winstead Paint and Body. I've been doing business with the Winsteads for over 40 years. Scott Sumner is our IT guru. He's actually working on those tutorials right now to teach you how to speed vote. Still bring those little puppies in.